The young and the restless spoilers. Full welcome back to the channel, besties. Today is an absolutely beautiful day to grab your iced coffees, sit down, and completely lose your minds with us, because the drama we are about to unpack is literally off the chart. We are diving straight into the deep end today. So buckle up, you guys. I am deceased. Stop what you are doing right now. I am literally shaking. Wait, we need to talk about this now because my brain cannot process the sheer, unadulterated cinematic mayhem that is currently going down in Genoa City. I am physically vibrating from the absolute audacity of these people. Like, I am personally offended and simultaneously living for every single chaotic second of this disaster. We are not just watching a show anymore, we are invested. These people are my real-life neighbors, and I am currently spiraling over their life choices like it is my full-time job. Send help. My soul has actually left my body. The Abbott family is officially in shambles. Victor Newman is playing 4D chess with people's actual lives, and Kyle Abbott is about to make the single most astronomically stupid decision in the history of human existence. Wait, backtrack for a second. I missed a step because I am genuinely too hyped to stay on track. Let's set the scene of the absolute mess I was in while witnessing. I was mid-skincare, okay? Literally had the charcoal mask on, and when I saw Jack Abbott lying in that hospital bed, I screamed so loud I smeared charcoal mask all over my pristine white rug. Literally had to yeet my phone across the room because I could not handle the visual of Jack fighting for his life. Bestie, be for real right now. Jack was stabbed. A vicious, life-threatening stab wound to the stomach, and he is hooked up to every machine in the ICU, fighting for his literal existence. And who put him there? Patty Williams, the absolute menace to society herself. I am hyperventilating just thinking about the fact that Victor Newman basically orchestrated this entire reign of terror by bringing Patty back into the fold just to mess with Jack. It's giving major I cannot even energy, and we are spilling all the tea right now. Oh, hold on. I should have mentioned this earlier, but we cannot ignore what happened to Diane Jenkins. If Jack being stabbed wasn't enough to send me into a full-blown existential crisis, Diane almost died. Like, straight up, almost crossed over to the other side because Patty, in all her unhinged glory, came at her with a syringe full of digitalis, a lethal injection. Diane was literally fighting for her breath, and it was the most insane, world-ending tea ever. The stakes are astronomical. This isn't just corporate sabotage. This is attempted murder on a massive, terrifying scale. Diane has already been through hell, being held hostage in that weird barred room by that shady doctor, Lawrence Markham, and now she gets a digitalis cocktail from Patty. I am unwell. So, with Jack bleeding out in a hospital bed and Diane recovering from a literal assassination attempt, what does Kyle Abbott do? Does he stay by their side? Does he hire extra security? No. Kyle decides he is going to take on Victor Newman himself, which is honestly so unhinged, and he goes straight to Billy Abbott for help. Kyle is basically marching around town, fueled by pure adrenaline and daddy issues, demanding that Billy team up with him to destroy Victor for bringing Patty back into their lives. Kyle is looking at Billy like, Uncle Billy, we need to go to war. And honestly, the tension was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Kyle is desperate, he is angry, and he is way out of his depth. But here is where my brain genuinely short-circuits. Billy says no. Billy Abbott, the king of reckless revenge plots and chaotic gambling, straight up refuses to help Kyle. Why? Because Sally Spectra is pregnant. Billy looks Kyle dead in the eye and basically says, "Listen, kid, before Sally got pregnant, I would have jumped at the chance to ruin Victor. But now I have too much to lose." I was screaming at my screen. Billy is trying to play the responsible family man, trying to protect his new little nuclear family with Sally, completely oblivious to the fact that Victor's already coming for them. Wait, I'm glitching. Okay, back to the main event. But seriously, did you hear that weird hum in the background of that scene? It sounded like an air conditioner was dying, or maybe it was just the sound of Billy's last two brain cells fighting for dominance. Anyway, moving on. Billy is sitting there, all high and mighty, thinking he is safe because he is staying out of the Abbott-Newman war. But we know the truth. Victor is secretly plotting to absolutely obliterate Sally's new company, Spectra Charles. Billy is completely in the dark, and his blissful ignorance is going to lead to disastrous consequences for both him and Sally. Victor doesn't care if you opt out of the war, Billy. If you are in his crosshairs, you are already dead. So, with Billy tapping out, Kyle decides to go rogue. And when I say rogue, I mean he is about to make a decision so wildly idiotic that I need to take a lap around my living room just to calm down. Kyle is planning to visit Patty Williams in prison. Yes, you heard me. Kyle wants to waltz into the Genoa City Penitentiary, sit down across from the woman who just stabbed his father and tried to digitally flatline his mother, and offer her a deal. He wants to convince Patty to turn on Victor and expose the mustache for orchestrating her early release from the psychiatric facility. Kyle thinks he can outsmart Patty Williams. Bestie, be for real, right now. Kyle is a Nepo baby in a tailored suit. Patty is a psychological mastermind who once swapped faces with a therapist. I am literally hyperventilating right now just thinking about the sheer danger Kyle is putting himself. Let's review Patty's resume. She poisoned Summer Newman. She kidnapped babies. She forced Jack to sleep with her on a yacht while holding Diane's safety over. Patty is obsessively, violently, and pathologically fixated on Jack Abbott. She does not care about Kyle's little revenge plot. If Kyle is dumb enough to help Patty get out of prison, or even just get her a reduced sentence, she is going to make a beeline straight back to Jack's hospital room. She will not stop at Victor. She will use Kyle's desperation to get exactly what she wants, and Kyle is basically handing her the keys to the Abbott mansion. And don't even get me started on the vibes of the Genoa City Police Department. They are officially on my do not perceive list. I am so done. Detective Matt Burrow and Christine Romalotti actually believe Patty over Diane. How? How do you look at Diane Abbott, a woman who was literally kidnapped and held hostage, and then look at Patty Williams, a known serial kidnapper and attempted murderer, and say, you know what? Patty seems reliable. It is genuinely the most infuriating, mind-boggling display of incompetence I have ever witnessed. I know we can blame the writing shout-out to Josh Griffith for making me want to pull my hair out until October, but in the universe of the show, it is just straight up insulting. Christine, you are a lawyer. Use your brain. Did I say that yet? My brain is mush. Moving on. Wait, I did mention digitalis, right? Yes, the digitalis. But I need to repeat it because the visual of Patty holding that syringe is burned into my retina. Diane was literally inches away from death, and the cops are just shrugging their shoulders like it's a minor misunderstanding. It makes Kyle's desperation almost understandable. Almost. But teaming up with Patty is like trying to put out a fire with a bucket of gasoline. It is a guaranteed disaster. And where in the world is Dr. Lawrence Markham? We cannot just forget about this shady, corrupt psychiatrist who started this whole mess. He held Diane hostage in his weird house with no medical facilities, gaslighting her into thinking she had a mental breakdown. Then he teamed up with Patty to kidnap Ashley's daughter, Abby, and baby Dominic. The man is a menace, and he is just out there in the wind. Is he ever going to face justice? Or is this just another drop plot line? The chaos he unleashed is still rippling through the city, and Victor used that exact chaos to maneuver Patty into position to strike Jack. Let's dissect Victor's role in this cinematic masterpiece of manipulation. Victor hates Jack. It is a tale as old as time. But orchestrating the release of a dangerously unstable woman just to ruin Jack's life, that is dark, even for the mustache. If Patty actually takes Kyle's bait, if she actually stands up in a courtroom or talks to the feds and exposes Victor's role in her release and Jack's subsequent kidnapping and stabbing, will Victor finally face the music? Will the great Victor Newman actually be held accountable for once in his life? I'm calling it the villain arc is about to go nuclear, manifesting a total dumpster fire by the next update. If Patty turns on Victor, Victor will unleash hell on earth. He is already going after Sally and Billy out of pure spite, and if Kyle brings Patty into the mix, Victor will crush the Abbotts into dust. But the wild card is Patty. She is so unpredictable that she might just blow up Victor's empire, Kyle's life, and Jack's hospital room all in one fell swoop. She is a walking grenade, and Kyle is about to pull the pin. I genuinely cannot handle the stress of this show. My heart rate is at 150 BPM, my charcoal mask is ruined, and I am sitting here screaming into the void about fictional billionaires. But you know what? We wouldn't have it any other way. The stakes have never been higher, the betrayals have never been deeper, and the sheer, unadulterated chaos is giving me life. I need to go lie down and stare at the ceiling for 3 to 5 business days to recover from. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments how hard you are panicking over Kyle's prison visit. Until next time, stay unhinged, besties.